Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD fam? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we're going to be taking a look at the factions in Call of Dragons. We're going to do a pretty detailed breakdown from the starting hero to the special units and to the faction bonus, and then I'm going to take you over to my spreadsheet and we're going to show you the kind of highlighted differences from similarities to kind of unique standout features and talk through the early, mid, and late game, give or take, on which factions are good for overall use, which ones might be kind of more meta picks at certain points, and really just give you a full guide to choosing your faction and then potentially even maybe switching later down the road. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you sub, like, ring the notification bell, and of course, if you like, or if you want to join and be a part of our conversation, hit up the Discord. You can find a link to that in the pinned comment description down below. All right, so I wanted to try and put this out before Server 2 opened, and I'm going to try and put this out today before so. But let's first break down the factions. So you have three that you can go with. You got green, blue, and red. Green is the Spring Wardens, blue is League of Order, and third is the Wilderberg. That's my best pronunciation of that. And if it's incorrect, someone is more than welcome to let me know in the comments below. Okay, so let's start with the starting heroes, right? So we'll look at each. And so you have a starting hero, which is Guanwin. Guanwin? I'm hoping that's a good pronunciation. So we have Marksman, Peacekeeping, and Precision. I have League of Order. Starting hero is Waldir. Magic PvP, Skills. Then we have Bakar, or Bakar. I'm going to go with Bakar, that just sounds better. Infantry, Garrison, and Skills. Now, if I'm looking at these starting heroes, right, traditional Kingdom Builder just play style lends me to believe that it is better for me to start off with a Peacekeeper commander, which are effective against PvE units in the game, right? So in this game, it's going to be, you know, your Darkling, Warriors, Legions, etc. Also being able to help you with Behemoths, just to name a few. So to me, starting hero would go to Guanwin, right? Because this is someone I'm probably going to use on a daily basis very often, rather than using one that is not peacekeeping, right? You're typically going to try and focus on peacekeeping commanders first. Well, thanks, sweetie. And so again, I would give the starting hero to the Spring Wardens green. Then let's get over to, and this is where we're going to have to switch over a bit. So I'm going to click on each of the units to show you for each, and then we're going to give you some breakdowns. So archers, you have Ironbark Trents, we have Longleaf Trents here for Spring Wardens, we have Work Elks, we have Elk Riders, we have Forest Eagles, and then with League of Order, we have Vestals, we have Swordsmen, we have Ballistas, we have Warhorses, Knights, and Celestials. Then we get over to Wilderberg, and we have Axemen, Spearmen, we have Satyr, there we go. Satyr mages, trying to find the word there. Work rhinos, wolf riders, and wyvern riders. I think that's the pronunciation there, right? Okay, so those are all the units. Now let me take you over to, just gonna make sure this isn't, cool, it's not, awesome. So let me take you over here now, and let me do it like this, so I can show you guys. So we're gonna do, go up here. Awesome. Okay, so here is the spreadsheet I made, and I wanted to show it, and we'll go back to the other screen as well, but I wanted to show this because this clearly outlines, and I just added this to the Everything COD best data spreadsheet that we have here for the game. This is something I put together and created. So you'll have here, when it comes to special units, right, you have everything that's light, this kind of purple pink, thank you, sweetie, is our features, right, effects from these special units that are pretty similar or the same. And I'll give you an example. So if you look at this one, right, where it says, as the Legion's unit count decreases, their physical defense increases, is Ironbark Trents. Same thing for Swordsmen, and then you have the same thing here for Axemen, right, so across the three factions. So that's why if it's in that color, you can see here similar or same features. Yellow is unique faction features, right, so again, unique, they each have a different starting hero. Unique, they each have a different faction bonus. So let's focus on first, before we get to the faction bonus, the special heroes. the special units. So you have two here, two here, and two here. So each of them have two special units that actually have different usages. Now, you'll notice one of them are the transport units. Here, here, and here. Or sorry, where's my transport unit? Yeah, we're sorry. So right, these are transport units. These are pretty much units that you're going to use for gathering. Specifically, they're just T1, right? They're T1 cav is what they are. And right, so let's focus on before we get there. Let's look at these ones. So you have Longleaf Trent increases the defense of surrounding friendly legions. So it's AOE, another AOE, nearby friendly, and then surrounding friendly legions. So you have one AOE special unit, which is interesting, and then you have a kind of gathering special unit. Those are really the main differences there between specials. So for Spring Wardens, increases the defense of surrounding friendly legions. For League of Order, increases HP of nearby friendly legions. For Wilderberg, increases the attack of surroundings. So you have one that's defense, HP, and attack. Now, if I've learned anything from my time playing Kingdom Builders, is that usually you want to go with HP because it typically will generate more opportunities for you to do more skill usages, and you sometimes can last longer, I would say, in fights, is kind of the basic mechanics that I've come to understand. Now, for those of you that might think differently, again, this is just my opinion on what I've noticed from my time playing Kingdom Builders, is I often find that players that are very proficient in PvP will typically favor HP a little bit more than defense or attack if we're just focusing on those three. So for me, I would probably give this overall to blue when it comes to just one of the special units. And then when we look at the transport units for Work Elk, Horses, and Work Rhinos, you have transport units faster march speed when moving towards a resource point. If I could actually spell correctly. Here we go. This is okay. I don't know if that's really going to be the standout for me. Have a higher load capacity when gathering. Okay, that actually is not bad. That means I can gather more. It means I'll gather more per unit, right? So if I have, if you're comparing, if I have one unit here, Work Elk might, one of these might gather 10 resources. Workhorses might gather 20 resources, right? So your one individual unit can gather more than another. Then we get to Work Rhinos. Legions composed of Work Rhinos will gain extra resources when they exhaust a resource point. So to me, this is a clear win, right? Work Rhinos are the best transport units that I would argue, because sure, you might have a faster march when you're moving towards a resource point, but when you're returning, it's the same speed. So I would rather get more resources per gather than I would moving faster, right? Because I'm actually getting some type of ROI in return. So I would say when it comes to who's really maybe going to get the most out of this, I mean, you could make the argument that, you're out of, PvP is probably the most important, but you could argue in the beginning to the middle stages when you're mainly focusing on developing your account, Work Rhinos are probably going to be the better play here. So I would probably give it special units to Red Wilderberg, but then you might consider switching to League of Order, right, for maybe some of the endgame PvP. Okay, then we get to the last one, which is going to be faction bonus, right? So you have Spring Wardens, which is Legion March Speed, Heal Speed. League of Order, which is Legion Magic Defense, Gather Speed. And then you have Wilderberg, which is Legion Physical Attack, 3%, Build Engineering plus 10%. And I believe this is something that they're changing from the last note as well. I believe it's going to go to like Build Destruction or something. I believe they're changing it to, but it's tomatoes, right? So I would say when I'm looking at this for faction bonus, Legion March Speed is great because it means that you could potentially kite more, right? It means you can get into a fight, you can exit a fight a little bit faster. You might be able to kite with range, or just depending on what some of the mechanics that you're considering or thinking of trying. Heal speed, I think, is important because it means you're going to be able to heal your troops that much faster, and also means you can get back into a fight that much faster. When we look at League of Order, you have Legion Magic Defense, which again is one of two actual stat increases like you'll have with Wilderberg in a moment. So I think Magic Defense is good because that's something that's PvP related, right? It means you're going to be able to sustain a fight a little bit longer compared to if you went with green. Gather Speed 10%. Again, that's not bad. Gather Speed is really good, especially if you're trying to, outmatched. I mean, they're the only one that has that, so it's not a bad thing, and you can still use the Legion magic defense for PvE as well. Then we get to Wilderberg, which is Legion physical attack plus 3%, and then build engineering / destruction right at plus 10%. Again, this is mainly what this really is for is if you're building flags. So if you're building flags, you're building fortresses, if you're building your big RSS pits that you use, where you basically, it's like, what, 10 million, however many resources, and then everyone just goes, there's kind of like a safe gathering node within the alliance that you build, right? This basically just means that your building speed is increased by 10%, so you're going to be able to help build flags faster, forts faster, RSS pits faster for your alliance. So if I'm looking at all three of these, the thing is, it's tough. I almost favor the gather speed a little bit more, just because of a little bit of my time playing on, and just noticing how important really gathering is, especially if you're trying to utilize those with speed ups, if you're just trying to be able to just do as much as you can early on. Right, this is kind of where this goes for me, and it's interesting because, right, I like green because of the starting, right, and then we kind of get to my conclusion here, which is I like green, I like Spring Wardens because of the starting commander, right, I like the peacekeeping option, I like blue mainly because of the gather speed here, but I like red because you get the extra RSS every time. Now the thing is, we don't know how much, right, you'd have to compare that and look in game to see what the value is, and if it's not an extreme amount, then I would argue, okay, right, maybe you probably consider going blue or green. Because the thing is that you're going to get this commander anyways, right, over time. Keep that in mind. Regardless of the starting commander that you have in the beginning, you are still going to get that starting commander at a certain point. You're going to unlock all the commanders with the exception of a few of the legendaries that you kind of have to get through some pay-to-win means. So even if you start blue, you'll still be able to get Guan Win, right? That there's not there's not like a hard cap or a challenge there. Having the higher load capacity, which means that when you're building your workhorses early, you're still going to be able to. That means you'll be able to essentially farm a full node faster than you will with the other, which means you'll be able to farm nodes faster with however many marches you're able to get to, faster than the other factions, along with having the gather speed bonus, and you'll eventually get this, right? If I'm looking at it, I probably would go like blue. League of Order to me seems as though it is kind of the clearish favorite here. And then I would say next to me would probably be Wilderberg, again, because I like the extra resource points, and then Spring Warden's green would probably be third. Like if I'm ranking them overall, when I'm factoring in everything, I would go blue 1, red 2, and then green 3 in that order. Again, you might feel differently than that. That's just, again, my assessment on when I'm looking at everything all encompassing. I would really love to know what you guys think. Remember, you can always change factions too as well. And again, I wanted to make this because I thought it would be really important to kind of talk through some of these things. You can already see, right, some people that are checking out the spreadsheet, really happy that it's getting a lot of usage. And yeah, so let me know what you would do, right? That's my opinion on my order and my reasonings for it. I would love to hear what you think. Do you have different justifications on why you would start with one faction over the other? If so, I would love to hear it. Let me know in the comments down below. That is it for me. As always, until next time, I'll catch you later.